Yeah. Y'all know what it is. Get to the floor, what you waiting for? Cause we about to be straight to the top. Been waiting too long and now it's the time to show them all that it's not a game. And I don't care what I'm looking like, I just gotta show you that I'm just not going nowhere. Feel proud it, I don't doubt it. Show me that you're showing up about it, about it.
Sunday mornings in many places across the world are reserved for worship. For pastors and ministers' wives, it's a day they're at their peak as #1 supporter for their husbands who are preparing to preach. These are long days for the wives, but on this particular Sunday afternoon, Dee Jackson, wife of Pastor Clarence Jackson, has graciously made room for us again. We're back inside her home, which seems a little less intense from the daily routine we witnessed during the week. She shares with us that Sunday afternoons are really the main time her husband, and their kids get to relax. So the house is quiet while we set up our cameras, and Dee begins to talk with host Nicky Yarborough about what it truly means to be a main source of support for her husband, their family, and their church family at Greater Bethel Missionary Baptist Church in Chattahoochee, Florida.
Lady D, thank you so much for joining us here on the Life in the Now broadcast.
Thanks for having me.
I am so happy to do this, have this one-on-one time with you because we see so much. We see you doing a whole lot. Mm-hmm. And we just want you to share how it feels to be a mom, a first lady. You're still in school, right?
Correct.
Still in school. So you wear so many hats working. So how do you handle that? How do you balance it all?
You know what? I get asked that question a lot, but believe it or not, I don't know any other way. Wow. I've never been married to anyone except the pastor. So this has been my lifestyle. But I often tell people that, it's not a chore for me because I was built for this. Right. There's a special anointing that is on pastors' wives just as it is on, anybody's lives. Right. And I believe that you can't just be a pastor's wife. It's a calling. Right. You have to be able to shoulder that burden. You have to be able to care for the people. You have to be able to love the people. And not only that, but you also have to be able to live your life under a microscope. Yes. There is nowhere that I go where people don't recognize who I am. And I'm not an extension of my husband. And so I'm built for that. And I don't see it as pressure. I don't see being a mom as pressure or being his wife as pressure. It's just who I am. And this is God created me for this. No one else could walk in my shoes. I was built for.
I know that's right. Well, do you have days where you're just frustrated? You're just like, look, I just need some me time.
Of course.
Me time.
Yes, definitely. That time comes. It's few and far between. But yeah, definitely. It is a task. Not only is my husband a pastor, but my husband is also a mayor. Right. And then all 3 of my children are honor students, and they're in everything from basketball, football, cheerleader, ballet, keyboarding, and I'm a mom through all of those things. Yes. Plus, I'm working on my MBA, which I'll be finished with next semester.
Wow!
And I work full time. So it's a lot. And so every now and then I need a break, but I'm glad that God has given me a husband who it's not one-sided. Not only do I see when he needs a day, but he also sees when I need a day.
Exactly.
And
that's important.
And he's very spontaneous. He'll just take me on a trip, or we'll just do something special, or he'll just say, you know what, the room is yours tonight. I will not let the kids come in there and run my bath water and put flowers around the tub.
God.
He's done that, and I appreciate him for being that kind of husband.
Wow, that is so awesome because there are some women who really wants that, and a lot of first ladies, I see them in the servant mode, like they're always serving their husband, and they feel like they're tired and they're run down, and I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to cook and whatever, and the husband is always gone. So that's very special. That's something that is needed. So I'm glad you shared that.
Yeah, but we've been in ministry for a long time. He's actually been preaching since he was 18, but he's been pastoring for the last 12 years, you know, of our marriage. And so, you know, it takes a mature, it takes a maturity. And, you know, at first there were times, you know, when he, you know, wouldn't be home as much. But the more you mature, you understand that God created a family even before he created the church. And my husband is really good about it. Just like on the first episode, he was actually getting ready to go out of town. He was going to do a revival, but he's daddy also. And even though it was a stretch for him, he was back for our son's football game. You know, I'm not parenting alone. We parent together. So even though he's pastor, he's still father. He's still daddy.
So what kind of fun things that, you know, you just sometimes you feel like you just want to, let me just get out and just do D. What do you do? What types of things do you like to do? Because you've been first lady for how long?
12 years.
12 years since y'all been married.
Almost 13 years. We've been married 16.
Oh my God. So the majority of your marriage, you've been first lady. So sometimes you just want, look, I don't want to deal with the church stuff. I don't want, you know, I just want some me time. What do you do in that time? What do you do?
There's actually never a time where there's not church stuff. You know, it's kind of like being a doctor in your own call. Even when you're not at church, you still think about what's going on. You think about that child that's giving the mom trouble and you praying for them. That doesn't change. But there are times where we do, you know, get out. And I actually don't require you to be out alone. That's not, I mean, what makes me happy is being with my family. So that's what I consider a good day, like on a Sunday afternoon where it's just me and my 3 children, sometimes my god baby and my husband, and just watching TV together. Or I love cooking, so I'll just cook something special that they've never had. Like I may make a flatbread pizza, or I may make some type of dip or something, and we'll just eat. And I like to hear them tell me what they like and what definitely what they like about it. Or my daughter just may whip up some what does she like to make? What do you call it? The funnel cakes. My daughter makes the best funnel cakes.
My goodness.
Oh my God.
Definitely.
And now she's making cakes.
Now that's good. And how old is she?
She's she just turned 14.
So
she made her first caramel cake last week. I showed her how to do that, and I just love that time that I get a chance to spend with my kids, because so often, you know, we don't get it. We just don't get it because we're always consumed with the church, with the city, you know, with stuff for their school, and it's not that family time. So I cherish that.
Well, that's a great thing, I tell you. But we, you know, we hear so many women that just, like I said, the women that are on the verge of breakdown, like it's just too much for me, it's overwhelming, and then after a while something happens and then there's this big blow up or whatever, because they never took time to have that balance in their life. And so this is good stuff. Like they need to know what's your hobby. Find a hobby. Like cooking, baking, and all those things. I know for me, cooking, when I'm very, very stressed out, I'll start cooking. I'm like, you know what? I need to just find some food, put some stuff together, and it relieves stress. It's actually a good thing. So I mean, I really think that number one, something that's key. I wish that we had it. You know, when we first got married, is a support system. You know, there are so few couples, positive couples that you can look up to, especially if you're a pastor's wife. That shifts everything. Who do you talk to? Who do you share with? You can't do that with your friend, because there is no wife on this earth except a pastor's wife that understands what it feels like to be a pastor's wife. That is right. Not only do you have your regular marital stuff, but then you have your church stuff, and you need someone that you can share with, a couple that you can look up to. So the first thing I would say is don't try to do it alone. That's number one. That's good.
And then number two, yes, you do have to define yourself. You do have to have definition, or you'll break down. You can't just be pastor's wife or Sally Joe's mom. You gotta know who you are. Who is Nikki? Who is Dee? And you know, and that that does come with maturity. I went through a spell where I didn't know who I was. Where I let them talk me into wearing the big hats on Sunday.
Come on.
That's not me.
Oh wow! Thanks for saying
me.
that.
I have my own identity, and I wear what I feel comfortable in, and I am who I am. I have my own style. I don't have to. I don't have to conform. I like being me, and when I started being me, I became happier with being the pastor's wife, and I settled more in my role, and it stopped being a chore, and it became my life.
Your life.
Is me.
Wow.
This is living.
There's
a difference between existing and living.
Right.
And now I'm living.
Great. Do y'all hear that? I am so glad that she was able to share that. Lady D, thank you so much for just sharing that with me and the rest of the world. And I know that some lady out there is just listening, looking at you, watching you, and saying, oh my God, how can I get there? You just helped them out. And I thank you so much because we look up to you. All of us, all of the other wives that are part of the series look up to you. And we thank you just for being who you are. Thank you.
When we come back, we head outside for an up-close and personal walk and talk with D. Jackson and husband, father, pastor, mayor, Clarence Jackson. They share more about ministry life, family, and keeping each other balanced. That's coming up right after this.
The first day stepping on the court, I couldn't keep up. That motivated me to step up my game. When I reach a goal, I set a new one the next day. The best feeling is getting to a place you've been fighting for. Tennis taught me to never give up in anything. School, sports, life. Your opponent has to earn their victory. Nothing in life is guaranteed, so education is important. Going to college is one of my biggest goals. I can't wait. Mastering the court takes persistence. So does getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Along with weight loss, it's one of the many ways to fight osteoarthritis pain. For more information on managing pain, go to fightarthritispain.org.
The founders of America's 3 biggest pizza companies are named Tom, Frank, and John. But Marco's Pizza has a founder named Pasquale, who was actually born in Italy. Marco's, authentic Italian pizza.
It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon at the Jackson home, and quiet, much less intense from the busy schedule we witnessed D. Jackson share with us during the week. Previously, she shared how she's up by 6 o'clock each morning, getting her husband packed up on days when he has to travel, dropping 3 kids off at 3 different schools, and then heading to work. So this is the quiet time that her and husband, Pastor Clarence Jackson, share Sunday afternoons. And this quiet time seems to keep them refreshed and keep their love flowing. They share more about their life and love with host Nicky Yarborough as they walk around the property.
We've been married for how long? Yeah, 16 years. 16 years. And the first part of that, 16 years, which kind of rocky. Wow. Not anything done on her behalf, but just because, I was young, I was dumb. And so I watched her mature as I matured. And she kind of loved me through the curve. Wow. She loved me through the curve, you know what I mean? And so when I take a look at who she is on the whole. See, this is not just First Lady. This lady is in school full time, an honor student, fixing to get her MBA. And that too, she's going to be making more money than me.